training and support. This is one in a series of videos intended to introduce to you the overview steps of using your GiFTgive landing page as a nonprofit. There are additional videos that will follow, and you can find more information on a whole number of topics if you look at our knowledge base and support page. This particular video deals with the preparation steps that you as a nonprofit will go through as you get ready to begin to put your needs up on the site. We recognize that this is, for most nonprofits, a new way to reach out to donors, and we thought it would make sense to do a few things in advance to get prepared. Obviously, we would like for you to be able to be efficient with your time. The whole purpose of this site is to allow you to do more things without expending a whole lot more energy, time, and effort. Now, you already have the main central message that you use with donors when you're out asking for cash donations. You may need to tweak that a little bit as you bring them from the more general message into a more specific focus on your specific needs. So be prepared to spend a few minutes tweaking your message to explain to your donors why they're coming to your needs site and what they can do for you there. Because presenting needs is really all about going from the general message down to specific. After all, we're doing this partly because donors have said they would like to be more engaged and more particular about how they help and to know more specifically what their dollars are doing, hence the idea of having them supply your specific needs. Another step in this is to ask, really, how much do we know about our donors? The better we know them, the more effectively we can present our needs to them. This is not uncommon for businesses that are in retailing who are selling things to customers. Obviously, the better they know the customers, the more able they are to put the right things on the shelves and to connect those buyers with the items that are on the shelves. Now, you're not selling anything here. If anything, they are buying for you, but the relationship is similar, and your donors will need to be connected or helped to get connected to your needs. So the more you know about them, the more you stop and think about these donors and what specifically makes them tick will help you in that process. After you've thought a little bit about your donor base, you'll need to identify your needs. Well, that sounds simple, and we all know what we want, right? You'll be surprised. Once you start talking with your organization about the items that they might ask for specifically, you're going to be a little bit surprised at the number of things that surface, perhaps more than you can handle initially. These items might be things that are everyday items. They might be wish list items. You'll want to get a variety of these items, but as you're identifying your needs, one good place to start is your budget. Look in your budget. Anything that you spend money on is something that you need. Obviously, you're going to buy it anyway. Why don't you give the donors a chance to do that for you? If you haven't found them in your budget, you can ask your team. You can ask the folks who work in the field. What are the things that they run out of? What are the things that will make the biggest impact on a donor? Where do you think they can help the most? These are the items that you'll want to gather together as your needs. And it may be a large list. So we're going to talk about how you manage that list. When you've bundled together this pile of needs that rise up in your organization when you start looking for them, you're going to try to make sense of them. And one way we do that is to catalog them. Cataloging them, simply organizing them in an order where we can sort of look at them in a useful way. One of the things you want to look for is variety. Not all needs are the same, which is good because not all donors are the same. They may like different things, and they may want to supply different things. In variety, we're talking about things like needs with different price points. Maybe your donors will go towards needs that are inexpensive and easily provided, and maybe they would rather help you purchase the things that are significant and large cost items. You'll want to know what the priorities are in your needs and to make different priorities available. Some donors are most interested in what you need right now. Others are more willing to support the organization with the more mundane items that get replaced periodically. Also, you'll want to vary your needs by looking at different purposes. What are they being used for? Some are being used over here, some are being used over here. Different donors will engage with different aspects of your ministry, different aspects of your nonprofit, and you want to be able to make sure there are needs out there that could appeal to any one of them. Another way that we sort the needs is by how they touch us emotionally. Sometimes needs can be presented in a way that really touches our heart. That's fairly common with nonprofits. Another way that needs can be presented is the needs that are uplifting, things that really make us feel better about what's being done out there to help people in the world or to help a particular cause. Sometimes humor is very useful, and you can put needs out there that will actually cause people to laugh. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually becoming more and more the path of choice, because people will frequently share needs that have made them laugh. Ultimately, donors are asking themselves a question, and you need to answer it. And that question is, why does this particular need matter? What difference will this make? So as you are sorting out these needs, bear in mind that what you're trying to do is help the donor make an emotional connection. No matter what you buy, from cereal to cars, people purchase things based on some sort of a connection that they make between their heart or head and the item that they're looking at, or else they don't buy it. So you're going to want to do the same thing and use your needs and present them in a way that allows people to make that connection. Now, as you're cataloging your needs, there's one more thing here. You're going to need to not put them all up at once. If people were to come in and fill your needs and provide all these items, and then more people showed up right after them and the shelves were bare, it would sort of take away your momentum. So gather together more needs than you will initially ask for, and have that sort of second tranche of needs ready to go for when the first ones are filled. Okay, you've got all these needs together, they're cataloged, you've got a sense of the order in which you're going to put them out there. Now what? Well, again, as we're preparing, these are some things that you want to do in advance. Let's collect some stories. And for this, you'll probably be looking to your staff and the experiences of the people and causes that you're working with. Stories are a big part of presenting your needs. And telling the donors how these particular needs will make a difference specifically is part of the story. You'll want to go around and collect people's input on this, and specific examples of specific situations is a real plus. Also, you can gather together in advance different videos and photos that you have on hand in your nonprofit, because you may use these as part of the context of telling the story. Pictures are very helpful that way. Visual storytelling is something that's very much the 21st century way of doing things. But any of these are all put together to help show donors what you need. And a final point on this business of preparing your needs. Keep it real. Don't feel that you've got to go out and do something that would earn you a Pulitzer Prize if you're writing, or an Academy Award if you're making a video. It's much more effective to just be authentically yourself, to say how you feel and what these needs are going to do from your perspective, because that's what the donors are looking for. They're actually looking to help you as well as the cause. So we'll want these needs to be put out there as real as you can. Polished is not necessarily going to be better in this case. As you're preparing, we also want you to think about a plan for how you're going to communicate with people. Obviously, you want to get folks involved. I mean, who would want to get ready to host a party and then have nobody come because no one had been invited? That wouldn't be any fun. So if you're going to get folks involved, who are you going to tell? Something to think about first and in advance. Also, how are you going to tell them? Will you send them an email? Will you send them a newsletter? Will you perhaps call some of them? There's a number of different ways, and some of our videos go into more detail on how you go about reaching all these donors, but you want to give some thought in advance to who you're going to talk to and also how you're going to do it. We would suggest actually that you start with everybody. And the reason is this. You have really two goals here. Certainly one is to have your needs met and to take some things off your budget. But the second thing is a little more subtle but very important, and that is that you're looking to extend and expand the awareness of your nonprofit. And if you're going to do that, the broader beginning you have, the broader finish you'll end up with. So you probably want to start with a plan that eventually has you telling everybody about your needs. There is also the question of how often you will tell them. Studies suggest that it takes a number of times when you're talking to someone to actually get their attention and to get a message through, if it's one that they weren't actually asking about up front. And maybe as many as 7 times. So don't feel that you're going to tell them once and then this will all be over and go on its own from there. It's really more like running a store. You sort of tell everybody that you've had a grand opening and you keep inviting them back for different items at different times. So you'll want to tell them frequently and you'll need a plan for that. So think about that as you're preparing to set your needs up on GiFTgive. Here's another element that you want to think about as you're getting ready to get started on GiFTgive. You are setting up a brand new account here, and that account has to be managed. Who is going to administrate this account for you? Hopefully it's not just one person, but if it is one person, they are essentially going to be running your store, as it were. And it will take a little bit of time and man hours and hopefully some creativity. So be thinking in advance about where you can get assistance there. Who else will help you out with running this site? Where in your organization can you find folks with a little bit extra bandwidth to help run it, or particularly look for anybody who's got creativity, because that's at a premium when it comes to merchandising needs. These folks and you as the administrator are going to manage the needs, and you need to think about that. How many needs will be up there? What schedule will you add them? How frequently? How will you keep your inventory fresh? How long do those needs stay up there? And which needs go up first, and then which ones follow? These are just general questions to get you thinking about how you're going to manage this process. If you have these questions answered in advance, it'll be a whole lot simpler once you put the needs up. Because as soon as you start posting these needs, donors are going to start showing up, and then your time won't just be your own. So those are the things that we wanted you to think about as you are getting prepared to put your needs up on GiFTgive. We have a great many other pieces of advice and guidance on our knowledge base and our support page, videos that you can go and check out, and written articles there and also on our blog. Please help yourselves at www.gift-give.com and look for our support page, and we'll be able to give you more assistance in getting yourself up and going. Thank you.